Visit abaeservices.com for fast medical transcription service. This podcast episode is brought to you by AB Music Creative.
This episode is brought to you by Dr. Lourdes Capulong.
You know what, your song, no? I mean, The Promise, it has spanned like more than 3 generations, at least 3 generations already. Easy.
Yeah.
And it's been used in Napoleon Dynamite. When they used it, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
But are you aware that if you go on YouTube and you type in new wave mixes, most of the time the first song will always be
Wow.
The Promise.
Well, you know,
Right, Benji?
do you know what's really weird is when we wrote this tune and because it's got such a weird drum loop going on, we were thinking, how do people dance to that? How we tried to dance to it and we couldn't because we didn't know what was going on over in America at the time.
Right.
And in America at the time, they were doing the stuff, the Malcolm McLaren stuff, you know, the Buffalo the Buffalo girls go around the outside, and that's how they were dancing to our tune. You know, we played New York. We played the Studio 54 in New York, and we could see them dancing. We were actually up on the balcony and watching the people, and the guys were spinning on their heads and doing all sorts of stuff. So, in fact, I did a gig 5 years ago in downtown LA at this bar. I don't know whether was it White's Hotel? Was it, what's that?
Standard? No.
There's a hotel. I forget what the name of the hotel is, but it's a very simple name, and it's a white place, and I think it's called White's. And the bar, what happens is when you go down to the club's in the basement, and the bar goes down when the artist is due to go on. The bar goes down. So they'd asked me to do The Promise. They'd invited me to sing The Promise. So I go on. I get introduced on stage, and I come on stage, see the bar goes down, and I come to the front of the stage. These guys come on with me, and I start singing, and they're doing they're spinning on their heads and all.
How'd you feel when they were? How'd you feel? You wanted to dance too?
I wanted to join them. I did. No, I admire any kind of stuff like that. You know, anybody that can do anything a little bit different. You know, and spend time. Do it. I mean, obviously they spend time rehearsing and doing all that sort of stuff. So, and especially when they do it to your song, when they dance to your song in that way. And I've seen when you say that it's the first song that comes up as a remix. We went to Brazil on tour in 1992, and there was guys out there, DJs, that had 4 decks with 4 mixes of the 12-inch, or 4 different mixes. They had the Freddie Bastone 12-inch mix. They had the ON mix and another different mixes on the other 2, and they were spinning between the 4 decks, and it's
oh my god, that's
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and they were spinning between all of that and putting their own stuff in, and it just and weirdly enough, it's very difficult when you've written a song like that and you hear it in a club. You think, why? I tend to think, because I'm pretty hard on myself as far as tunes go, and I think to myself, how could anybody have liked this?
Are you serious?
Sometimes I do, because not that I should rephrase that. It's not that. I guess it's the feeling. I wrote this and I can't believe it. You know, that kind of thing. You know, it's like when you hear your own tune, you don't think it's yourself. It's a weird thing, because it was a kind of an organic experiment. I went to Rome with the Pet Shop Boys. They were on doing a club date over in Rome. Believe it or not, when in Rome, Pet Shop Boy. Yeah, and one of their mums worked with my dad, and one of the dads worked with my mum, and there was a real close connection with us and the Pet Shop Boys. And I went to a club with them that night, and West End Girl.
Which part of Rome did you go to? Did you go to suburbia? No, just kidding.
That was the next move.
Gotcha.
In fact, they tried that one on us. We said no. No, but we went to a restaurant. We were talking and blah blah blah. But then we went to a club and they put the West End Girls on, and I felt the same as I did when I'd listened to The Promise in a club. Because sorry, I just banged the mic. Then you'll have to edit that out. I'm sorry. You know, it felt like, because I was there with them, it felt like me listening to The Promise when West End Girls came on. because I can imagine what they feel about West End Girls, because they've had so many big hits since, and they probably think, oh, you know, they have to do it. But it's one of their, when you listen to it again against all their other stuff, it's quite. It's
different.
Down. It's quite dowdy. It's quite downbeat compared to what the other stuff is. And weirdly enough, best man at Andrew's wedding was the guy that produced the video "Go West" for Pet Shop Boys.
Really?
Yeah, Howard Greenhalgh, who's done that, the cover to the album.
This album.
Yeah, he's designed the cover. That's Howard Greenhalgh, who did "Snap," "The Power." He did "Jesus to a Child," George Michael.
He did a lot.
All of the Placebo stuff.
Wow.
Iron Maiden.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what? My band, Intro Voice, was the first band that actually covered The Promise.
Oh, wow.
In the Philippines.
Better than us.
What?
A better version than us.
Than
our version.
No. It was one of the. They were like, but it was so weird because instead of me playing the drums on it, and JJ knows this, I spent like 3 nights programming the drums on a Kawai. Was it an R100?
I think it's an R100.
Yeah, I did the whole thing like.
Well, check this out. We did the original, or I programmed, because I'm drummer originally. I programmed the drums on The Promise, so it was done on the Roland Dr. Rhythm, which was about that.
A small one, yeah.
Dr. Rhythm. So that and then of course we got signed to Elektra, then signed to Virgin, and then it was time to hire stuff. So
did you use a Fairlight?
Oh no, we used the well, of course we used a Fairlight for the store. And in fact, Mike Temini, the guy that I spoke to you about, he actually owned a Fairlight. That was a blue, the big blue, the big blue, the original Fairlight. And beautiful, of course. You've never heard anything like it before.
So warm.
Yeah. Yeah, then as well, it was expensive. Made in Australia. I don't know where they're made now, but they were made in Australia.
China.
At the time.
No, just kidding.
Yeah, of course they are. Of course they are. and even better, just like Uggs, you mean?
Oh my God.
But talking of The Promise and it being used in stuff, my daughter phoned me up one night and she was in tears and she said,
"Is your daughter into music too?"
She's a singer, but I steer her clear from it because, of course, we're really into this. Andrew and I are...
Speak closer to the mic.
Sorry. We're really... Andrew and I are very close to the suicide awareness stuff, so we do a lot of stuff for charity on that front. And it's intriguing that it happens to more musicians and more art, film, film actors and stuff like that. And it's weird that they strive to they go to college to learn the trade and everything else, and they get to the point where they become successful, which is where they want it to be.
And then
it's weird that they don't enjoy it anymore. I mean, you've seen have you seen the Avicii video where he says I really loved it. I got into this business because I love it, but now I hate it. And it's all down to him. The best artists are the ones that can say no, because most people that are around an artist, all they're interested in is making the 20%. They're making their book. So as long as the artist is out and out and out and that.
And you know what? It takes away from everything. Like with you guys, did you feel the stress of the pressure from outside?
You did, but we're very, very lucky in that respect, in having that one hit record. Just having one hit. I'm so glad that we didn't have any more hits, because I don't think I'd be here. I don't, because I enjoy the high life. I like having a good time, and I was 31 when we had to hit The Promise, and I was able to go stop it.
Right.
And now we're really in control of our own destiny.
Right,
Andrew and I run the whole thing. We have Al Judd, who's our production manager, who does Wang Chung and Devo and everybody else. He does all our production. No contracts. We don't do contracts anymore. It's all on friends, and we do it as a friend. And if anybody rips us off, they're not friends anymore. And now I think we have a team where we know that we can trust everybody, and especially with Pancho and Al. We work with people that have got passion more than the money head. We're not into making money anymore. Yeah.